Hello everyone, welcome to chapters and welcome to another important current affairs weekly revision classes in which we are basically covering the revision classes for the month of March 2026 for the upcoming RBI Grade B officer exam. So my dear friends, I believe that your preparations are really going well for the upcoming examination and we are already done with the important articles for the month of April as well, right? So if I am audible and visible to all of you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can start with the today's session. So today's session is really going to be very helpful for all of you because today we are going to cover the part 2 of the third week of March 2026. Now why exactly this particular session is important? Let me tell you my dear friends that your phase 1 examination of the RBI is scheduled on 13th of June, right? And that's why the last 3 months of the current affairs are the most important here, which basically includes your March, April, May and 1st to 7th of June. Till 7th of June we have to cover these current affairs. And till now we have covered the April month completely, right? First week of May has already been done with the proper revision and first 2 weeks of the March is also done, and today we will be concluding the third week of March also. So all in all we will be completing with the almost 2 months of the current affairs from examination point of view. So thank you Kashish, Harshal, Kavya, ABC, Srishti for giving me the thumbs up in the chat box that yes, all things are good, all the technicalities are good and we are good to go with the today's session, right? So my dear friends, before starting with the today's session, I would like to ask you a very important point that yesterday before concluding the session, I gave you a homework. I gave you a homework that you have to attempt the Drishyam round, right, of 2 articles, and you were supposed to give the comments in the comment section of the session that yes, these are the answers. How many of you have covered it? Because I can see in the comment section there was not a single comment, there was not a single answer from all of you regarding the Drishyam round of it. Are you guys taking these homeworks for granted? Please quickly tell me in the chat box, because I am not able to see any single comment or any single answer from any one of you. So please let me tell you my dear friends that the homework that I am giving you, if there is something I am giving you, there must be good reason behind that, right? It's not like you can just say yes right now and you can just forget it later. You are really very serious about the examination, right? Are you serious or not? If you are coming to these sessions, you are spending your 3 hours of the time here, then that really means you are serious, right? So today I expect from all of you that everybody of you will be doing the homework if I will be giving you some. Clear to everyone? Now before starting with this session, let's have a quick round. So yesterday we covered a PM Kisan scheme, right? So can anybody tell me in the chat box that in which year the PM Kisan scheme was launched? What was the year in which the Kisan scheme was launched? Quickly tell me in the chat box, what is that year? It was 2019 when it was launched. Absolutely right. Can anybody tell me what is the financial assistance that the government is providing to the farmers for supporting them? What is that? That is rupees 6,000. And it will be given in how many installments? 2 installments, 3 installments, 4 installments, 5 installments. What will be the right answer? In the 3 installments. Absolutely right. Okay, please tell me if there is any minister who is also having the farm, will that person will be able to take the claim of this 6,000 rupees or not? Please tell me in the chat box in yes or no. Will that person be able to take the claim? Answer is no. Absolutely right. Okay, if I ask you that what exactly, if there is a person who is a retired person and is also paying the taxes, so is that person eligible to take the benefit under the PM Kisan scheme? Please answer me yes or no. So absolutely right, it is no. Well done. Now moving ahead to the next scheme, PM Jal Jeevan Mission. The Jal Jeevan Mission 2.0 has been extended. Can anybody tell me that what is the timeline for the Jal Jeevan Mission 2.0? That is December 2028. That is the right answer. Clear everyone? So I can see in the chat box Harshal, Kashish, ABC, Kavya, Srishti Everybody is giving me the right answer. That right answer is December 2028. Well done, everyone. So that is something that I am looking out for from every one of you, that yes, you are revising it and you are revising the PDF also from the examination point of view. Clear? Now let's move on to the today's session, and the very first article today here is MOSPI has released the ASUSC 2025 results for unincorporated non-agricultural sector. Now my dear friends, let me tell you that in our country, you know, there are so many surveys which are being taken place. So many surveys are going on, right? And we assess these surveys across so many different areas. But what about the surveys of the companies, of the small shopkeepers who have not converted into the companies? That means any business which has not been converted into a company, it means it is unincorporated, right? And basically we are not having the much of the data of that. But let me tell you that they are also the kind of backbone, because they give employment to so many people, right? And additionally, there are so many such kind of small businesses in our nation, which adds a lot of value to the Indian economy. So why not we create such kind of survey where we are only catering to these unincorporated businesses? So now let me tell you that as a part of this, we try to focus on those businesses which are from the non-agricultural sector. So we are not going to focus on these businesses which are agricultural in nature. No, we are going to discuss on the non-agricultural sector. So that is why, taking a lead, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has released the results of annual survey of unincorporated sector enterprises 2025 for the period January to December 2025. So this particular survey is from January to December 2025. That is annual data is there. That means question can be asked from this kind of report. Clear? So when it comes to the ASUSC survey, it is the annual survey of unincorporated sector enterprises. From which sector? From non-agricultural sector. It covers the non-agricultural establishments which are engaged in manufacturing, trade and other service sectors, excluding the construction. So see, two things we have here excluded. One is the agriculture and one is the construction. These two sectors have been excluded from here. Now the survey aims to measure the economic and operational characteristics of these enterprises. It collects data on indicators, for example, the number of workers, gross value addition, emoluments, fixed assets, outstanding loans, ownership type, nature of operation, registration status, and use of information and communication technology. Clear, everyone? So basically it collects data on the indicators. For example, number of workers, how many workers are there, the gross value added emoluments, the fixed assets. So we are going to assess these unincorporated enterprises across these areas to understand that, okay, what is the level, right? How many people are involved in it, how much money they are making from there, right? How much fixed assets are there, how much loan that they have taken, how many NPAs are there, so that we can see that, okay, what value exactly they are adding to the economy, and so that in the upcoming timeline the government of India can make some good policy making for these kind of businesses as well. Clear, everyone? So the aim and objective is quite clear, the survey is very much clear. Now let's move ahead into the coverage of the ASU. So basically the coverage of this survey includes the rural and the urban areas. Sector wise, this survey captures unincorporated non-agricultural establishments like manufacturing, trade and other services. The ownership wise, we will be conducting this survey across the non-agricultural establishments which are proprietorships, partnerships, excluding the LLPIs, right? Cooperative societies, trusts. So basically these are the different sectoral enterprises which will be covered, which will be assessed as a part of the ASUSC survey. Now let's try to understand that, okay, what are the key findings of the survey. So the total number of establishments when it comes to this sector, it has increased to 7.92 crore in the ASUSC 2025 with a growth rate of 7.97%. If we talk about the total number of establishments in this sector, it has increased to 7.92 crore from 7.34 crore in the past year, and there was a growth rate of 7.97%. Among the broad sectors covered, the number of establishments in the other services sector recorded a robust growth of 10.29%. So there was a growth rate of 10.29% in the other sector, in the other services establishments. When it comes to the gross value added, which is a key indicator of economic performance So it has increased by 10.87%, driven by 16.77% growth in the trade sector and 8.52% growth in the manufacturing. So basically gross value addition में कितना ऐड हुआ, 10.87% इंक्रीज हुआ. टोटल नंबर ऑफ एस्टैब्लिशमेंट्स में इट इंक्रीज टू 7.92 करोड़. Now what was the gross value addition per worker? The gross value addition per worker has increased, right, from 1.49 lakh to 1.56 lakh in 2025. So this has also increased. Clear everyone? Clear to all? Moving to the next part, when it comes to the employment, this sector employed 12.81 crore workers during the January to December 2025 cycle. Among the broad activities, other services sector showed the highest growth rate of 7.4%. When it comes to the women-led enterprises, so the percentage of the female-owned proprietary establishments, guys, nowadays the female entrepreneurs are also coming and they are also setting up a lot of businesses, right? So that's why it was really required to see that what is the percentage, which will also gives us the basically the parameter that okay, whether we are able to work on the women empowerment or not. So the percentage of female-owned proprietorship establishments has also increased from 26.2% to 27%, and the emolument per hired worker has also increased by 3.88% in 2025. So emoluments has increased, number of establishments has increased, per capita gross value addition has increased, overall gross value addition is increased, digital penetration has also increased. That means that these sectors are really progressing. Clear everyone? I think this trend is quite clear to everyone that yes, the overall when we see these unincorporated non-agricultural sectoral enterprises, their performance is increasing. When it comes to the digital penetration, the percentage of establishments using the internet has significantly grown from 26.7% to 39.4%. तो ASUSE 2025 में ये 39.4% से इंक्रीज हुआ है. ठीक है, पहले 26.7% था, अभी ये 39.4% हो गया है. Clear everyone? So we have covered this. Please quickly tell me in the chat box now the answer that I will be asking to all of you, right? So basically question number 1 is that which ministry has released this particular survey? That is the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Clear? It is covering which enterprises? Non-agricultural unincorporated sector enterprises. Now if I ask you that what was the total number of establishments, it increased to 7.92 crores, right? And the number of establishments and other services, it was increased to 10.29%. Now gross value addition has increased by 10.87%, right? 16.77% growth in the trade sector was there. Gross value addition per worker, it has also increased from 1.49 lakh to 1.56 lakhs. Clear everyone? Are you guys getting the point? Moving ahead, the total number of workers who are working there, that is 12.81 crore workers are working there. And other services sector में highest growth देखी गई 7.4% की. The women-led enterprise rise as worker earnings has improved. The percentage of the female-owned proprietorship establishments has also increased to 27% from 26.2%. Clear everyone? The penetration of the digital services has also increased from 26.7% to 39.4%. Now let's try to answer these questions. So quickly tell me the name of the ministry which has released this ASUSE survey for unincorporated non-agricultural sector, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It collects data on indicators such as gross value addition, number of establishments, emoluments, fixed assets, outstanding loans, ownership type, and all these areas. When it comes to the total number of establishments, it has increased to 7.92 crore. When it comes to the number of establishments in the other services, it has seen a robust growth of what percentage? It has increased to by how much percentage in the growth in the other services? Let me see who will give me the right answer. So it was around 10%, right? Moving ahead, the sector has employed about how many crore workers? So it was 12.81 crore workers are working there. Among the broad activities, other services sector showed the highest growth of how much percentage? How much percentage it was? In the other services sector, so what is that amount? Moving to the next part, digital penetration में जो percentage of establishments using the internet, it has also grown significantly from 26.7% to 39.4%, right? The answer to this previous one was other services के मामले में अगर हम बात करें तो it was around 16%. Let's re-clarify it. So we are talking about the other sources. Okay, it was 7.4%, my dear friends. Let's correct it. It's 7.4%. See, guys, that's why we always tell you that the more you will revise, the more you will able to retain. So we have revised the 3 times, right? But again, there are some areas which we are not able to answer, right? So basically, we have to ensure that we are revising these areas, the targets, the areas that you think that you are not able to retain from examination point of view, right? Then try to give more focus on those areas so that you can retain it from examination point of view. Clear? Let's move on to the next news article. The government has announced the She Marts to promote SHG women-led enterprises. So my dear friends, you know that recently the females are also becoming the entrepreneurs, right? And there are so many women who are the part of the self-help groups in our country. But you know what happens is that this self-help group, the women's self-help groups are getting the credit, they are having an organized structure, they are having the products. But you know what they are not having? They are not having the market access, they are not having the market linkage. They don't know how to brand their products, they don't know how to present their products, right? And that is why recently Government of India has come up with a very important initiative, that is these self-help entrepreneur marts we will be setting up. So let's take an example. We are creating some shops which will be showcasing the products of these female entrepreneurs, the female self-help group members. So that's why we launch it as, so this mart will be called as, we will be only having the products of the women self-help groups. So that's why it is called She Mart. She Mart, a mart which is showcasing the products of the self-help group entrepreneurs. Clear? So these She Marts were been announced during the budget 26-27 to strengthen the market access of the rural women-led enterprises under the self-help group ecosystem. This will be bridging the gap between the rural production and the urban local consumption. It will function as a structured retail platform for showcasing and selling SHG products directly to the consumers. So earlier the problem was that they are not having the market access, they are not having the market linkage. They don't know how to brand. So all this support will be provided as a part of the She Mart. It will improve the market linkage, increase the visibility of the local products, strengthen the SHG institutions, help women entrepreneurs scale their businesses. And you know that the She Marts will be created under a very, very important flagship scheme of the government. That is the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission, which is one of the major scheme which has been launched by the Government of India for supporting the self-help groups in our country. Clear, everyone? So these will be community owned retail outlets only at the cluster level federations. So what exactly the SHE Mart stands for? Self-help entrepreneur. That is the right answer. Clear? Let's try to answer. The government announces the She Marts. The She Marts to promote self-help group women-led enterprises. The government announced the setting up of self-help entrepreneurs. During the budget 26-27, the She Marts will be functioning as a structured retail platform for showcasing and selling SHG products. Okay, now it will be implemented under which mission? It will be implemented under the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. She Marts will be dash. It will be community owned retail outlets. Clear, everyone? I can see that all the people have given me the right answer to these questions. Well done, everybody, for giving me the right answers to all these questions. Well done. Now let's move on to the next part, guys. Again, Jal Jeevan Mission 2.0 is here, and we will be skipping this article. Just remember the name of the state, that is Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, which has signed a reform-linked MOU under the Jal Jeevan Mission. So the people who are new to this, let me tell you guys that here we are, earlier the mission of the Jal Jeevan Mission was basically to provide the tap water connection to all the rural households, right? But now in the Jal Jeevan Mission 2.0, now they are focusing on that whether the water is coming into these taps or not, it is quality water or not, it can be drinked or not, right? And whether it is sufficient or not, and there is a regular supply of the water or not, right? And that's why the community led Jan Bhagidari will be there in the part of the Jal Jeevan Mission 2.0, because these are the people who are going to be the caretakers now, and they will be the early responders to tell the system that okay, this is the problem that we are facing in this particular area. Clear everyone? I hope that this part is clear. Moving on to the next part, next news article, India's total exports has reached USD 714.73 billion in the fiscal year 25 to 26, April to January. So my dear friends, ये April to January का export related data है. Let me tell you, this is volatile in nature, right? So we will just remember this data that yes, 714.73 billion US dollars is that amount, which is the India's total exports in fiscal year 25-26. Clear everyone? Now let me make you understand a very important thing here, right? See guys, when we talk about the India's total exports, let me tell you that India is having the two counters, right? One is the merchandise export and one is the service exports. In the merchant, which are basically when we combine the sales of these two counters of the Indian market, then basically we get the total export that we have done. Clear? So when it comes to these merchandise exports, what happens is that merchandise exports, we are basically selling those our products which can be seen physically, right? Which can be physically seen. For example, the textiles, machinery, chemicals, agricultural products. So these are the tangible products, right? Now, when it comes to the service export, these are intangible services which cannot be seen, right? Which includes IT services, softwares, banking, tourism, such kind of services. So basically adding both of them will give the total exports. And what was the total exports from India in the fiscal year 25-26, April to January? That is $714.73 billion. Clear everyone? Which has seen a growth of 5.26%. That's all we need to retain this from examination point of view. So let's try to see here. So that's all from this part guys. Total exports was $714.73 billion. Let's move on to the next article. Agri-Stack Farmers Registry crosses 9.2 crore farmers IDs. So guys, यहाँ पर भी 9 करोड़ क्लियर हो गया है, और इससे पहले हमने एक स्कीम और देखी थी जहाँ पर 9 करोड़ की वैल्यू को हमने सरपास किया था. Can anybody tell me what is that particular scheme in which we have seen that the 9 crore value has surpassed? We have today only covered that scheme. That is Atal Pension Yojana, where we have seen that more than 9.4 crore enrollments in the Atal Pension Yojana. Clear everyone? Now let's move ahead. In the Agri-Stack Farmers Registry crosses 9.2 crore farmer IDs. Let's again, to understand this this article, let's again go back to the school days. In the school days, my dear friends, you see that every student is having a particular roll number. Every student is having a particular roll number, and that roll number acts as the identity of the student. That how much marks he is getting in the different subjects, whether he is participating in the sports or not, if he has got any scholarship, if he has paid the fees or not. So everything is just managed with the help of that roll number, because there can be two people with the same name, right? There can be another Devanshu in the class also, right? There can be another Harshal in the class, other Kashish in the class, other Upasna in the class, right? But let me tell you here, but the roll number will be unique for every student. So roll number cannot be copied with the same personalities, right? That is, a roll number is very important. Just like you people are having their own unique Aadhaar ID, right? You are having a unique Aadhaar number. Similarly, for ensuring that the farmers are getting all the beneficiaries of the schemes, the farmers are basically getting all the localized support, technology support, consultancy support. That is why we have come up with the farmer IDs under the Agri-Stack Farmers Registry. So basically what government is doing is government registry कर रही है farmers की, and they are giving them the farmer IDs. So they are including all of them under the Agri-Stack system, so that we can sure and we can basically track that which farmer is more affected in this particular part and how we can provide him the support. So that is why the farmer registry under AgriStack has generated more than 9.2 crore farmer IDs, where 47.63 lakh are in Bihar only. Clear? It covers the landholding farmers, including women farmers, provides onboarding for the cultivators such as tenants and the sharecroppers. So ये सबको include करेगा, landholding farmers हैं या नहीं है, sharecroppers हैं, tenants हैं, women farmers हैं, cultivators हैं, everybody will be the part, everybody will be getting this farmer ID, which serves as the digital identity for the farmers under the AgriStack digital public infrastructure. So AgriStack is what? It is a digital public infrastructure, like your Aadhaar is a DPI. Similarly, for farmers, we are having the AgriStack. It is developed by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare as a digital foundation to integrate stakeholders and improve the agricultural outcomes. So, in this manner, when we are tracking the farmers and the services that they are getting, so we are also ensuring from our end that yes, everybody is getting all the services and that is good to go. Right? The aim is to provide better access to the credit, quality inputs, localized advisory and the market access for the farmers. Now, what are the different objectives under the AgriStack? One is government benefits and schemes delivery to be reached to these farmers. Then we want to create a presence-less layer for quick identification of the farmer, whether this person, for example, a person is coming that he says that, okay sir, my name is Ghanshyam and I have not get this particular part, but I remember that okay, there is a Ghanshyam farmer from this area also who has already got the services, who has got the benefit of the scheme. So who is this person? So I will see that okay, I will tell him that please show your farmer ID, right? And I will see if that farmer ID is matching with the system or not. If that person has not got the services, we will be providing the services to that person. So that's how we are going to work under the AgriStack. Clear? So then we are having lowering the cost and risk of agricultural services. Then enabler easier scheme convergence, accelerate innovation in the products and services. Right? We can provide these farmers with the high quality data. Right? So that is something that that's how AgriStack is going to work in the farmers, in the agriculture sector. It is based on a federated structure with states at the center, evolved from the India 2.0 architecture of MITI, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Now what exactly this federated structure means, my dear friends? Can anybody tell me what exactly the federated structure means? It basically means that center is giving them a सॉफ्टवेयर, लाइक लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल, एग्रीस्टेक नाम का सॉफ्टवेयर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने सभी स्टेट्स को दे दिया. अब ये स्टेट्स की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि जो भी डेटा है इसका, जो भी फार्मर रिलेटेड डेटा है, दे हैव टू मैनेज देम ऑन दिस सॉफ्टवेयर. द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क ऑन दिस, राइट? स्टेट्स हैव टू डू दैट. दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द डेटा मैनेजमेंट. सो CBSE is giving the particular portal to all the schools. Now it is the responsibility of the schools only to manage the student data on that software. CBSE is not going to do it, right? So that's how it is a federated structure. That is the real example of federated structure. Are you guys getting the point? So now, my dear friends, you can see that AgriStack farmers, please tell me that what is the amount that they have, how much enrollments have crossed in terms of farmer IDs. That is 9.2 crores. Absolutely right, 47.63 lakh in the Bihar. Well done, that's all we need to cover from here. So now you can see here that Dash Farmers Registry, that is the AgriStack. AgriStack Farmers Registry crosses 9.2 crore farmer IDs. The farmer registry under the AgriStack has generated more than 9.2 crore farmer IDs, and 47.63 lakh are in the which state? In the Bihar itself. Dash serves as a digital identity for farmers under the AgriStack digital public infrastructure, that is the farmer ID. Will be serving as a digital identity for farmers. AgriStack is being developed by which ministry? Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare ने create किया इसको, right? Right or wrong? Please tell me in the chat box. Absolutely right. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. Absolutely right. It is based on the federated structure with the states at the center, evolved from which platform? That was India 2.0 प्लेटफॉर्म से इसको जनरेट किया गया. बिल्कुल सही जवाब. आगे बढ़ेंगे दोस्तों. सो मज़ा आ रहा है सभी को? एवरीबडी एंजॉइंग द सेशन? सो एवरीबडी इज लविंग द वे वी आर कंडक्टिंग एंड द वे वी आर covering these news articles for all of you. Are they easy to understand now for all of you? Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box if yes. I am seeing your responses in the chat box. Clear everyone? Okay ji. Let's move on to the next news article. Now cabinet has approved the continuation of IVFRT scheme. Now what is IVFRT scheme? IVFRT scheme has been continued till 2031. It stands for Immigration, Visa, Foreigners Registration and Tracking Scheme. So you all know that in our country every year so many people, so many foreign national peoples are coming to the India, right? Some are coming as a tourists, some are coming as a for the medical, right? So there are so reasons, so many reasons are there that they are coming. So basically we need to track that, okay, how many people are coming, who is coming, for how much time, whether there is any, whether there will be any illegal stay in the country or not, right? So we will be tracking all of these things. And also, my dear friends, additionally we are also having a fear that if any terrorist is coming to the country or not, right? We want to ensure and track each and everything. So there are two types of people who will be coming, right? One is that person who is genuinely coming to India with a good interest, right? For example, it can be tourism, it can be medical travel. And then there is another part, that is the people on whom we have some kind of like हमें शक है इन लोगों पर कि हाँ ये कोई टेररिस्ट हो सकता है, या फिर ये ऐसा पर्सन हो सकता है जो हमारी कंट्री की पीस को डिस्टर्ब करेगा, राइट? So basically these are the two types of people. So we have to ensure that we are tracking both kind of people, and we will be providing smooth flow, right? Smooth flow of immigration and visa services for the people who are having the good interest, and the people such like these terrorist kind of people, so we have to nab them as well. So basically हमें इंश्योर करके चलना है कि सभी लोग जो आ रहे हैं उन पे कोई भी राइट कोई वो प्रॉब्लम फेस ना करे. Clear everyone? So that's why Government of India came up with the IVFRT scheme, which is going to work on the immigration, visa service, foreigners registration and tracking, right? It was originally approved in 2010 with the allocation of 1011 crores. Later it was extended to 2015 and extended till 2021, and now this year it has been extended till 2031. Clear? The aim is very simple. We want to modernize the immigration, visa services and foreigner registration through an integrated and secure digital system, facilitating legitimate travel while strengthening the national security. We have to ensure that the travel is legitimate, and we are ensuring the national security without impacting the travel of these people, right? So the Union Cabinet approved the continuation of the immigration, visa, foreigner registration serving scheme from 1st April 2026 to 31st March 2021. What is the outlay? 1800 crore is the outlay for the scheme. It will be aligning with the Immigration and Foreigners Act 2025, will address the emerging challenges like illegal migration and future immigration as well. Clear? So what are the different key features which includes? It includes mobile-based services, self-service kiosks, unified digital platforms, upgraded infrastructure. Then it will be covering 117 immigration posts as well. It has enabled 100% contactless and faceless visa processes for the people with the online appointment scheduling. So अगर कोई पर्सन आना चाहता है उसके लिए 100% contactless faceless visa process है with online appointment scheduling and payment facilities. Average immigration clearance time has also been reduced from 5 to 6 minutes to 2.5 to 3 minutes. तो 5 से 6 मिनट से 2.5 to 3 मिनट्स पर रिड्यूस कर दिया हमने एवरेज इमिग्रेशन क्लियरेंस. द फास्टैग इमिग्रेशन ट्रस्टेड ट्रैवलर प्रोग्राम इज ऑल्सो बीन launched by the government, and it is established at 13 major airports, which reduces the clearance time to 30 seconds. guys, सिर्फ 30 seconds में पूरा clearance मिल जाता है, right? It is really a very good clearance time for any person who is in the airport and in the immigration process, right? My dear friends, are you guys able to understand it? So IVFRT scheme, now I want you to ask the question from here. In the IVFRT scheme, what is the timeline till which it has been extended? That is till 2031. Absolutely right. What IVFRT stands for? Immigration, visa, foreign registration and tracking scheme, right? So it will be implemented from 1st April 2026 to 31st March 2031, and in which year it was launched earlier, that is 2010. It will be aligning with the Immigration Foreigners Act of which year? 2025. Clear? It has enabled 100% contactless and the faceless visa processes. The clearance time has reduced from 5 to 6 minutes to 2.5 to 3 minutes. Trusted Traveler program has been launched by the Government of India at 13 major airports. Now let's try to answer these questions. So IVFRT scheme was originally approved in which year? 2010. Absolutely right. So the scheme will be now onwards, it will be implemented from 1st April 2026 to 31st March 2031 with an outlay of 1800 crores. Clear, it has enabled 100% contactless and faceless visa processes. Clear everyone? The average immigration clearance time has reduced from 5 to 6 minutes earlier to 2.5 to 3 minutes. That's all, my dear friends. That's all we have to cover from examination point of view from the scheme. Are you guys able to understand the scheme? Okay, so everybody is able to understand. Let's move on to the next news article now. MOU between the Bhashini division and PFRDA for multilingual pension services. My dear friends, you all know that pension services are being provided in the country for providing the social security to the people, right? Now what happens is, let's take an example that you are having an account in a bank, right? And you just go to the bank and there is a person who is only knows the Russian language, right? And you are from India, although that person is that bank branch in India only, right? But you don't know Russian language, the person don't know English, Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Gujarati, that person don't know that language. So you won't be able to, contact that person, you won't be able to interact with person, and no queries will be resolved of yours if you are having any queries related to your bank account. So what happens if I just create and install a system which is going to help the person to enable to understand you and you are also able to understand him? If such kind of system I am establishing there, so that will be win-win situation for all of you, right? So that is why you all know that we are having the pension services in our country. And what if the website of the pension services is only in the English language? So, and there is a person who only knows Gujarati, Marathi, right? Or we can say Bhojpuri or Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu. So that person won't be able to take the benefit of that, right? Even he will start fearing that, okay, now I have to face this now when I will be going to that website for that. It will be a, real challenge for me. So for these kind of things, we have signed an MOU. So in our country, what is the name of organization which works for the pension services? That is the PFRDA, Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. So PFRDA has signed an MOU with the Bhashini division. Now what exactly Bhashini division do? It basically reduces that linguistic barrier between the two parties, so that there is enhanced communication between the two parties. So that is why Digital India Bhashini division and the PFRDA has signed an MOU under the Bhashini for Seva Sanchalan, a Bhashini Sahayogi program. Objective is quite simple, that we want to enable the multilingual digital capabilities in the pension services through integration with the Bhashini platform, right? So it provides for integration of the Bhashini translation APIs, multilingual AI models. So what we will be doing, we are having the website of pension related services. Now we will be integrating the Bhashini APIs into that particular website, so that the person who want to operate that website in a separate language, in a different language, the person can do that. Clear? And how many languages will be supported by this? Through this, that is 22 languages which are listed in the 8th schedule of the Constitution to improve accessibility and inclusivity for pension subscribers and stakeholders. Clear? So the initiative will support 22 languages which are the part of 8th schedule of the Constitution. When it comes to Bhashini, it is an AI powered language technology initiative under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It is that initiative which basically, removes that linguistic barrier. Clear everyone? I hope this is clear to all of you. So now let's try to answer these questions. So MOU has been signed between Bhashini division and the PFRDA for the multilingual pension services, right? So the digital Bhashini division under the Digital India Corporation of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and the PFRD has signed an MOU under Bhashini for Seva Sanchalan. The MOU provides for integration of which API? Bhashini APIs. It will be integrated onto the pension service website, right? The initiative will support how many languages? 22 languages, which are listed in the 5th schedule of the Constitution, in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. That's all what we need to cover from examination point of view. Clear everyone? Are you guys able to get it? Okay, let's move on to the next news article now. 3-year action plan for the Nasha Mukt Vidyalaya. My dear friends, you all know that, let's take an example of a nursery. You know nursery, what exactly happens is there, we are having, small plants there. People take the plants from these nurseries and then they grow them in their homes, right? In the pots. So basically what happened, that if I chemically expose these plants, I expose these plants to some chemicals or to some harmful air, polluted water, what will happen? Please tell me, will they grow properly or will there be any impact on their growth? Please tell me in the chat box. Let me see your response. How exactly you think? So these plants will not be growing in a proper manner, right? It will be impacting their growth. Similarly, my dear friends, when the children are there and the environment in which the children are not being raised properly, or they are not being educated properly, or the environment around them is not good, it will impact their growth also. It will impact their mindset also. It will impact their behavior also, their attitude also. And that is why, in order to ensure the proper growth, proper development of the children, Government of India has come up with a very important initiative. And in so many areas, what is that thing which is impacting these children? That is the substance use, that is the drugs. For example, in the Indian state of Punjab, there are so many people who are involved in drugs, right? So we have to ensure that yes, we are ensuring that the children are not getting into such kind of activities. And that is why government decided that we will be making the Nasha Mukt Vidyalayas in our country, the drugs free schools in our country. How we will be doing that? We have to ensure that in the 500 meters range of the school, there is no such kind of facility through which the drugs can be provided to the children. So children should not be having any access to these drugs. And that is why we have created a 3-year action plan under the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan to make Nasha Mukt Vidyalayas in our country. So the substance abuse among the children and adolescents has emerged as a serious public health issue. And that is why, as we are working for the students, so which ministry will be working for them? Ministry of Education. It has issued a 3-year action plan under the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan to address substance abuse among the school children and adolescents. Right? A joint advisory has been launched by the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Department of School Education and Literacy. And to every stakeholder it has been sent. Right? So what is the aim? That we want to create a safe and healthy and drug-free environmental school environment and act as an early intervention against the substance abuse. It mandates declaring a 500-meter radius around schools as a drug-free zone. It should be a drug-free zone. If there is any drug around there, the nodal teacher, the principal, the parents, they have to inform the authorities that this is something which is going on. Right? That is why we have to ensure. So, and it requires reporting of violations by the school head, nodal teacher to the local authorities, including the police. So they will be informing them. See, we have seen that okay, such kind of activities taking place. Kindly nab these people. We want to ensure that we are having a drug-free zone 500 meters at least around the school area. Clear everyone? So it adopts a holistic approach including awareness programs, preventive education, teacher capacity building, peer-led student initiatives and IEC activities. So thank you Kavya for giving us this additional information. The plan includes linkages with the health systems, counseling support and coordination with the local administration. So my dear friends, as a part of this plan, state and UTs will be required to appoint state and the district nodal officers, and they will be ensuring the implementation across all the government and private schools. Clear everyone? Clear to all? So that's all from this news article. Now let's try to answer the questions in the chat box. Are you guys ready to give me the answers in the chat box? Are you guys ready? Okay, let's start. So the Dash has issued a 3-year action plan. What is the name of the ministry? Ministry of Education. A joint advisory by the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Department of School Education Literacy has been sent to all the states. The plan mandates declaring a 500-meter radius around the schools as a drug-free zones. Clear everyone? So that is what we need to understand from the examination point of view. Now let's move on to the next news article. Let's move on to the next news article now. The CCPA advisory against the levy of LPG charges in hotels and restaurants. Let's take an example, guys, that it's really hot in the North India and you really love kulfi faluda, or we would say the ice cream, because kulfi faluda every person won't be able to understand that term. Let's take an example of ice cream, right? So you go to ice cream parlor in your city and you basically order your favorite ice cream, right? And when you had the ice cream, after having the ice cream, you see that when the vendor has given you the bill basically includes basically earlier you saw that the ice cream price is rupees 100, but the bill is of 130 rupees, because the ice cream parlor says that, okay, see, as you know that it's really hot out there, it takes a lot of electricity to keep the ice cream frozen, right? And you know that just few days back, we have also hired a security guard, so we are also paying him some money, so 10 rupees have been added for that, right? And we have just brought up a new infrastructure at the chair on which you are sitting and enjoying the ice cream, so this is also a new one, so 10 rupees is also there. That is why the total bill is 130. So will you enjoy that ice cream or not? Please tell me here. Will you be enjoying that ice cream or not? Then you will be thinking that, okay, why exactly I just came to this place to have the ice cream, right? Similarly, my dear friends, what was happening nowadays, you all know that due to the LPG shortage in our country, there were some restaurants and hotels who started, charging the people for the LPG charges. Like in the menu, the price of the article was rupees 100, the food item was 100, and they are asking that, okay, you have to pay 120 rupees, 20 rupees is for the LPG charges. So you can't do that. So CCPA says that this is a violation of the Consumer Protection Act, right? Because you are, there is a misinformation in your menu card. If you want to include these kind of costs that you are having right now, if you want to include these costs, then you can include it in the menu item only. You have to mention on the menu card, okay? Now the new price of the food article, the food item is now 130, right? It's not like on the menu card the price is 100 rupees and now you are charging the person when you are paying. When it's about the paying the bill, at that point of time you are asking the customer that, okay, your bill is 130 rupees. Why? Because we have added 20 rupees additional for the LPG charges. This should not be done. You can only add the taxes, that's it, not any other charge on your own, right? So that's why the Central Consumer Protection Authority has issued an advisory under the section 10 of the Consumer Protection Act 2019 against levying charges like LPG charges, gas charge or surcharge of the fuel cost recovery in the hotel and restaurant bills. Such charges are imposed by default are termed as unfair trade practices under the section 247 of the Act. The advisory was based on the grievances from the National Consumer Helpline and media reports highlighting lack of transparency and unjustified cost to the consumers. That is why CCPA has come up with this kind of initiative. When it comes to the Central Consumer Protection Authority, it is established under the Consumer Protection Act 2019 so that we can regulate the matters relating to the violation of rights of consumers, unfair trade practices, false or misleading advertisements. So that is why CCPA was basically launched. Clear everyone? I hope this is clear to everyone. So now let's try to answer the question. So the CCP has issued and advised under Section 10 of the Consumer Protection Act 2019 against levying charges like LPG charges, gas surcharge and fuel cost surcharge. The surcharges imposed by default are termed as unfair trade practices. And when it comes to the CCPA, it was established under the Consumer Protection Act 2019 only. That's all. I hope that you guys are able to retain all the important information from examination point of view. Clear everyone? Clear to everyone? I want all of you to give me the answers. So well done Kavya, Srishti, Kashish, ABC, Harshal, and all the people who have joined us live and who have answered me the questions in the chat box correctly. Well done my dear friends. Let's move on to the next news article. So the MOU between the Department of Posts and TRIFED has been launched. See my dear friends, you all know TRIFED, which comes under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, right? So the TRIFED platform also showcases the products which are being basically made by our tribal people, right? But these tribal people are not having the accessibility to the markets. They're not having market linkages. They don't know how to brand their products. So that's where, you know what we have done, that Department of Posts has signed an MOU with the TRIFED under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs to strengthen e-commerce of the tribal products, so that we can provide them the cost-effective logistic framework. So basically what happens is that when these people, as these people are not much aware and they are not having so much of the services, so basically what happens is that they end up, you know, their product end up very costly. Why? Because the logistic cost was really very high. So we have to ensure that it is not that much high. So to create a reliable and the cost-effective logistic framework for the delivery of products sold by a TRIFED platform, including the Tribes India marketplace, it will be improving market access, order fulfillment, customer experience, promoting tribal livelihoods and integration to the digital economy. So that's how we are going to empower these tribal people, right, by showcasing their tribal products, by enhancing the logistic connectivity of them. The Department of Post will be providing end-to-end logistic services, including the pickup, transmission, delivery using its nationwide network and the last mile connectivity. And additionally, there will be a buy now pay later facility. Guys, you must have seen that on the Amazon. We used to see this buy now pay later facility, which basically tells that okay, you want this product today, don't worry, just purchase it. And coming to the payment of this product, don't worry, you can just pay later, right? So that is why a buy now pay later facility under the national account facility was provided for streamlined shipment, booking and the payment through the speed post. Right? A TRIFED will ensure the proper packaging, labeling and sharing of order details as well. Clear everyone? So I hope that these details are quite clear to all. So now let's move ahead. The MOU between the Department of Post and TRIFED. The Department of Post has signed an MOU with the TRIFED, which works under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So additionally, there is a BNPL facility under the National Account Facility. Can anybody tell me what exactly BNPL stands for? The BNPL stands for Buy Now, Pay Later Facility. Absolutely right. Clear everyone? Clear to all of you? Moving ahead to the next news article. The DPIIT has signed an MOU with the Razorpay and launches the Startup Sahayak platform. So my dear friends, the Startup Sahayak platform has been launched. So the Department of the Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry has signed an MOU with the Razorpay so that we can strengthen the India startup ecosystem. And as a part of this MOU, we will be supporting the startups with the financial tools, digital payment solutions and the ecosystem support for scaling operations. Let me tell you guys, in our country now, there are so many startups are there. But you know, these startups are having a very good idea, but they don't know how to implement it. They don't know from where exactly they need to get the government schemes, what are the different services that the government is providing to these new startups, what are the new benefits that they are providing, how exactly they can set up the payment system, how exactly they can set up the payment gateway. So there are so many areas are there. So basically what happens is that they just end up getting into wrong practices, or either their payment system is always down because they are not relying on the good practices. So that is why, to make them aware of these things which are really very important, DPIIT signed an MOU with the Razorpay, under which they will be providing the services to the DPIIT recognized startups. You know, in our country, which startups are getting the benefit of the different schemes launched by the government? These are those startups only which are recognized by the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, right? So we will be providing these services, and these services will be provided by Razorpay now. Clear? So Razorpay will be helping them to focus on the founder enablement through mentorship, incorporation support, structured guidance will be there. They will be helping them to set up the payment gateway. Regular knowledge sessions will be conducted via the Startup India Hub, right? DPIT recognized startups will receive incorporation support, and you know what? There will be no fees, zero professional fees will be there in order to access to the credits and incentives on financial and business tools. And for this we have come up with a platform through which all these startups can, avail these services. And this platform is called Startup Sahayak. जो सहायता करेगा स्टार्टअप्स की, उसका नाम है स्टार्टअप सहायक. इट हैज़ बीन लॉन्च टू असिस्ट अर्ली स्टेज फाउंडर्स विद द कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेशन, कि कौन सी कंपनी आपको बनानी है, आपको पार्टनरशिप बनानी है, आपको प्रोप्राइटरशिप बनानी है, आपको लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप बनानी है, आपको कंपनी बनानी है, राइट? Access to the government schemes and the funding guidance. The platform aims to provide end-to-end assistance, including the company incorporation, access to central and state government schemes and programs, and the guidance on the funding opportunities. Clear, everyone? Are you guys getting the point? So this is the MOU which has been signed. So please tell me here, the DPIIT has signed an MOU with the Razorpay and launched Startup Sahayak platform. It has signed an MOU with the Razorpay to strengthen India's startup ecosystem. The regular knowledge sessions will be conducted via the Digital India Hub. The Startup India Hub on the topics like artificial intelligence. A dedicated platform, Startup Sahayak, has been launched to assist early stage founders. Clear, everyone? We are done with all the important articles. Now we are done with all the important information from this news article. We are done with the coverage of the article. We are done with the Drishyam round also of the same. Clear? Now let's move on to the next news article. So the cabinet has approved India's NDC under the UNFCCC, right? So what exactly the NDC is and what is the UNFCCC? So it is the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, right? Under this, we are supposed to provide the NDC, that is a nationally determined contribution. So what are these NDCs? See, my dear friends, let's take an example that these NDCs are the kind of promises which are being made by the different countries to ensure that they are focusing on the clean energy, they are making sure that there is less pollution in the country, they are becoming more sustainable in the nature, right? So the company made promises, and not every country is required to make the same amount of promises. No, that's not the case here. See, my dear friends, let's take an example of the USA. USA is the country which has also already seen all kind of revolutions in terms of industry, right? And this has already ended up, creating a lot of pollution in the environment. This country is basically more advanced in nature, more advanced in technology. They are having more money with them, right? So now they have to ensure that they are as they are already developed, so they are having less other focus areas. So basically that's how they can focus more on the environment. But when it comes to India, so India is a developing nation. India has to ensure that while meeting all these areas of the development, for example, we want to become the net zero carbon emission free country by 2070, right? But additionally, we are also required to ensure that we are reducing the pollution, we are creating the jobs, we are basically adopting the different technologies, we are ensuring the good job for the people as well, right? So we need to cater all these areas together. That is why the NDCs, the nationally determined contribution, cannot be same for both USA and India. Clear? I hope that this is clear to all. So every player has to, promise the contribution as per their capacity. So it should not be similar for all the people. That is why under the part of the UNFCCC, under the Paris Agreement, so basically every country which is the, you know, which is a signatory to this particular agreement, they have to ensure that they are updating and they are providing their NDCs every 5 years. And that is when now India has also submitted its nationally determined contribution for the 2031 to 2035, right? Under which India targets 47% reduction in the emission intensity of GDP by 2035. See, India is not directly reducing the air pollution, no. On what area we are focusing? We are focusing on emission intensity of the GDP. Let's take an example that earlier, let's take an example for generating rupees 100 GDP. For generating the GDP of rupees 100, we are basically, generating 10 units of the greenhouse gas emissions. We are generating 10 units of the greenhouse gas emissions for generating rupees 100 GDP, right? So basically now we have to reduce it. That if we want to, we are basically ensuring that now in the upcoming timeline, if we are generating 100 rupees of GDP, we will only be generating as a result 1 unit of the greenhouse gas emission. So we have to reduce it, right? So we are working on reducing the emission intensity per unit GDP. So 47% reduction in the emission intensity of GDP by 2035 that we are targeting. And India aims to achieve 60% cumulative electric power installed capacity. 60% of the cumulative electric power installed capacity from the non-fossil fuel sources by 2035. So India will be aiming to achieve 60% of the cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuels. We are not using coal, right? We are not using petroleum products. We will only be using the solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, right? India will create a carbon sink of 3.5 to 4 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. Now guys, what exactly is the carbon sink? Let's take an example, sponge, right? Let's take an example that there is a lot of water on the floor. You place the sponge there, it absorbs the water, right? Similarly, when it comes to the carbon dioxide emissions, so what exactly acts as a sponge for the carbon dioxide? These are the forests, these are the trees, which basically just like a sponge, it absorbs the water. Similarly, trees absorb the carbon dioxide. So basically, India is going to create a carbon sink of 3.5 to 4 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent through forest and tree cover. By which year? By 2035 again. The commitments align with the Viksit Bharat and net zero target by 2070. Earlier, the NDC targets of the 2015 of 33 to 35% reduction in the emissions intensity of GDP and 40% non-fossils share resources based electricity power installed capacity were achieved by the India 11 years ahead and 9 years ahead. तो जो पहले हमारे NDCs थे वो हमने 11 साल और 9 साल पहले ही अचीव कर लिया. Now we are moving on to the next set of NDCs for 2031 to 2035. Clear? लास्ट NDC 2015 में थे वो हमने 11 साल और 9 साल पहले अचीव कर लिया. ऑफ 33 to 35% रिडक्शन इन एमिशन इंटेंसिटी एंड 40% नॉन फॉसिल शेयर रिसोर्सेज. अब हमें इसको इंक्रीज करना है 47% रिडक्शन इन एमिशन इंटेंसिटी एंड 40% से बढ़ा के 60% ऑफ द नॉन फॉसिल फ्यूल सोर्सेज. क्लियर एवरीवन? नाउ द NDC framework is guided by the principle of the equity, common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities. I already told you this. The example when I told you and explained you that the targets cannot be the same for both India and USA, right? And similarly, the target cannot be same for India and Uganda. Clear? Moving ahead in international, coming to the Paris Agreement, my dear friends, it is an international climate treaty adopted in 2015 under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. As a part of this treaty, we have taken a pledge that we will be keeping the global warming well below 2 degrees Celsius, right? Our goal is to keep the global warming well below 2 degrees Celsius and pursue efforts to limit it to 1.5 degree Celsius. तो पहला टारगेट है 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस के कम रखना है और एफर्ट्स लगाने के 1.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस के कम रहें. ठीक है, and countries have to submit the NDCs outlining their climate action targets every 5 years. That's all under the Paris Agreement. Now moving ahead to the GST. GST is the global stock stake. So basically it is a kind of a assessment of the Paris Agreement. It is basically a mechanism under the Paris Agreement to periodically assess the world's overall progress, कि जो हमने promises किए थे, जो हमने वादे किए थे, क्या हम वो निभा रहे हैं, नहीं निभा रहे हैं, whether we are fulfilling these goals or not. So that is something very important. And this is also conducted every 5 years to guide countries in updating and strengthening their climate commitments. Clear everyone? So the next part we have already discussed from examination point of view. That is the common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities. So please tell me, are you guys getting this news article? Are you guys getting this news article? Okay, everybody is saying that yes, we are getting this news articles. Now my dear friends, it is the time to answer the questions of the Drishyam round. So before answering the question, please show some energy in the chat box that yes, you are ready with your weapons all down to take down these questions by giving the right answer in the chat box. So are you guys ready for that quick Drishyam round? Are you guys ready? Okay, let's start. The cabinet has approved the India's NDC under United Nations Framework of Convention on Climate Change for the period 2031 to 2035. Absolutely right. Under which agreement? Under the Paris Agreement. India is targeting -% reduction in the emission intensity of GDP by 2035. What is that particular timeline? It is, what is that percentage reduction? It is 47% reduction. Absolutely right. When it comes to the India's cumulative electricity power installed capacity, it has to achieve 60% from the non-fossil fuel sources. By which year? By 2035. Again, that is the right answer. India will be creating a carbon sink of 3.5 to 4 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent through forest and tree cover by which year? Again 2035. Absolutely right. Moving ahead, earlier NDC targets of the 33 to 35% reduction in the emission intensity of GDP and 40% non-fossil share sources. So these were being reduced and attained by the government, by the India. How many years ahead? That is 11 years for the emission intensity of GDP and 9 years ahead of the 40% non-fossil fuel share resources based electric power installed capacity. Absolutely right. Now moving ahead, emission intensity has since reduced by 36% during 2005 to 2020. अब emission intensity का target क्या है? It will be achieved by 2035. Absolutely right. Clear everyone? Moving ahead, the Paris Agreement. Guys, International Climate Treaty was adopted in which year? 2015. It aims to limit the global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius and limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And it requires countries to update their indices every how many years? 5 years. Absolutely, this is the right answer. So with this, we are done with the phase 1 and 2 articles, and now we will be moving on to the RBI notifications now. Clear everyone? Today we are having the 2 RBI notifications. The first RBI notification is the RBI statement on HDFC Bank's governance and the financial position. Let me tell you, my dear friends, that recently in the HDFC there was a talks going on for the change in the leadership of the HDFC Bank. And we all know that HDFC Bank is a really very big bank. It is the domestically, systematically important bank. If there is a major change happening in the leadership of the bank, it is going to impact the trust of the people in the bank. Right? Similarly, my dear friends, let me tell you a very, very important point. Let's take an example that there is a school, right? And in the class, every class was having a monitor. Let's take an example that there is a change in the monitor. Right, the monitor of the class has been changed. Now there must be some impact in the class, right? Now let's take an example that, another example, when the principal of the school has been changed. The principal of the school has been changed. So please tell me which impact will be more impactful, more heavy. Which impact will be more heavy? The impact of changing the monitor in the class or the changing the principal of the school? Which will be impacting the dynamics of the school? When we are changing the principal of the school, right? Similarly, my dear friends, try to understand this article that there was a change in the transition of the part-time chairman of the HDFC Bank as requested by the bank. So Reserve Bank has said that okay, don't worry, we accept your statement and we just want to ensure that from your end that yes, the people's trust is there in the bank, because if the people trust is gone, as you are already a domestically systematic important bank, so we cannot afford that kind of mistrust in this organization, because because the bank is too big to fail, right? So that is why you can do the changes, but ensuring the trust of the people is been maintained, right? So HDFC Bank is classified as domestically systematically important bank. So this is a bank which is so large, interconnected and important to the country's financial system. If it will be failing, what will happen? The economy can fail, it can fall. And how many such kind of DSIBs are there in our country? That is the State Bank of India, HDFC Bank and the ICICI Bank. These are the three DSIBs in our country. Clear everyone? Are you guys able to understand it? Let's move on to the next news article. The RBI has approved the amalgamation of the Lal Bagh Cooperative Bank with the Akhand Anand Cooperative Bank. So the Reserve Bank of India has sanctioned the scheme of amalgamation of the Lal Bagh Cooperative Bank, Gujarat, with the Akhand Anand Cooperative Bank in Surat, Gujarat. The approval was granted under the Section 44A read with Section 56 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. The amalgamation came into effect from March 2026. Right, so Lal Bagh Cooperative Bank will be merging with the Akhand Anand Cooperative Bank in the Surat, Gujarat. So the branches of the Lal Bagh Cooperative Bank will now operate as the branches of the Akhand Anand Cooperative Bank Limited. Let's try to answer the questions. So the Reserve Bank of India has accepted the statement on the HDFC Bank's governance and financial position. HDFC Bank is classified as a domestically systematic important bank, right? The DSIBs in India, how many DSIBs in India are? There are 3 DSIBs. What exactly these are? State Bank of India, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank. Absolutely right. Now coming to the next part, RBI has approved the amalgamation of which cooperative bank with Akhand Anand Cooperative Bank? That is the Lal Bagh Cooperative Bank. Clear everyone? Are you guys able to understand it? Okay, that's really great. So my dear friends, with this we are done with all the important phase 1 and 2 articles of the 3rd week of March 2026. So after completing all of them, we have covered the articles, we have revised them, we have retained them, we have answered all the questions of the Drishyam rounds, we have solved the MCQs. So how are you feeling right now? After doing all these things, are you guys feeling now empowered, confident, more confident with respect to these particular articles from examination point of view? See my dear friends, when it comes to the current affairs, revision is the key, and I am trying to ensure that in the session itself we are doing this revision. Clear? I am unable to see any energy in the chat box. Like ऐसा लग रहा है कि सब ठंडे पड़ गए हैं. So my dear friends, we have to ensure that we are energetic, right, during the whole session, so that we can ensure that we are covering, revising, retaining and fulfilling all the demands of the examination. Clear everyone? So now we will be moving ahead to the phase 1 articles. Now we will be moving ahead to the phase 1 articles. Now I can see some reactions, some energy in the chat box. That's really good to see. Let's move on to the phase 1 articles now. We will be covering the phase 1 articles in a very quick manner, because they are quite easy in nature and we don't need much of the explanation is required in the phase 1 articles. So are you guys ready for the phase 1 articles? Okay, so everyone is ready. Let's start with the very first news article. That is, the government strengthens forensic ecosystem by expanding the NFSU campuses. Now, what exactly this article means? Let me give you an example, my dear friends. See, you must have seen so many times that the big colleges in our country, which are the medical colleges, they are always having a hospital. Also, they are having the hospital as well as the student campus also. Why this so? Have you ever understood that why exactly this is the scenario? Like, you will go to AIMS, there are people studying in the AIMS, and then the treatment of the people is also going in the AIMS, right? Why is this so? So that we can provide the practical exposure to the students. The students who are right now taking the knowledge, they need some practical exposure also, because in the upcoming decades they have to serve the people, they have to serve the society by treating the people, right? No material share, it's not the infra cost saving. This is not the reason, although it is a good guess from you, but it is not the reason. The reason is to provide practical exposure to the students, because they really need good practices. If they are not practicing well in the real time scenario, they won't be able to become the good doctors. That's why we are having these campuses together. Similarly, we want to replicate the same kind of model in the forensic system. You all know that there is a scientific investigation of the cases, right? We need to do some forensic investigation. We need to analyze the DNA of the people. We need to match the DNA, or the DNA which was found on that criminal scene. So basically, we need to ensure that these NFSU campuses are along with these NFSU labs, so that the people who are studying in these campuses, they can also participate in this analysis, so that they are getting the practical exposure, so that they can work on these areas successfully in the upcoming timeline after their education. Clear, everyone? So the government has undertook the measures to strengthen the forensic ecosystem to support scientific investigation and improve the quality and timeliness of justice processes. We want to enhance the coordination between the academic training, research and operational forensic services. Approval was given to set up the DASH campuses co-located with the Central Forensic Scientific Laboratories. Guys, we are on the Drishyam Round PDF. Here is the PDF, right? So, which are the campuses that we will be setting up? We will be setting up National Forensic Sciences University campuses. Clear? These campuses will be established in 6 states. What are these 6 states? These include Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Right? Please remember Burtok, BURTOC. That is Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Odisha and Chhattisgarh. These are the 6 states where these campuses will be established. It aims to build capacity, increase availability of the skilled manpower and promote adoption of modern forensic techniques. And these National Forensic Sciences Universities provides advanced forensic technologies including DNA analysis, cyber forensics, digital forensics and so many things. Right, my dear friends, I hope that this is clear to everyone. Now let's move on to the next news article. The strategic partnership to strengthen the IICT and AVGC XR ecosystem. Let me tell you guys, the AVGC XR ecosystem is basically something which is really the the sector which is having so much of the limelight and attention, because we are having so much potential which is still untapped in this area, and we want to tap that potential. What exactly AVGC stands for? It is the animation, visual effects, gaming, comics and extended reality. Animation, visual effects, gaming, comics and extended reality. We want to support the National Center of Excellence for the AVGCXR, the Indian Institute of Creative Technologies. Yes, absolutely right, Harshal, it is the orange economy. So it is a key segment of the media and entertainment sector. We want to enhance the curriculum development, skill development programs, internships, research and development, startup incubation, scholarships and the industry mentorship. The Waves Bazaar is a kind of initiative which has been launched by the government as a global B2B marketplace and engagement platform for the media and entertainment sector. Right? Waves Bazaar kya hai? It is the government flagship global B2B marketplace. and engagement platform for the media and entertainment sector. Clear everyone? So the government has established the strategic partnership with the global technology companies to support the National Center of Excellence for AVGC XR. Clear everyone? Moving to the next news article. So Ad Trust Summit was held in Mumbai. It was organized by the Advertising Standard Council of India. Advertising Standard Council of India has organized the Ad Trust Summit 2026, which aims to promote awareness, understanding and compliance with the advertising industry. So now let's try to answer these questions in the chat box. So we have done the NFSU campuses. So these NFSU campuses co-located with the Central Forensic Science Laboratories, right? Now what are the 6 states where these campuses will be set up? I told you BOTOC. BOTOC stands for Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Odisha and Chhattisgarh. Clear? These are the 6 states. Moving to the next news article. Strategic partnership to strengthen IICT and AVGC XR ecosystem. So the government has established the strategic partnership with the global technology companies to support the National Center of Excellence at AVGC XR dash. It stands for Audio Visual Animation Gaming XR ecosystem, right? And what is the name of that platform, which is the government's flagship global B2B marketplace and engagement platform? It is the Waves Bazaar. That is the right answer. Moving to the next news article. Ad Trust Summit was held in Mumbai. That is the right answer. Clear everyone? Yeah, so the right answer to that first blank was the Indian Institute of Creative Technology, which we might miss there, right? And the AVGC XR stands for Animation, Visual Effects, Gaming, Comics and Extended Reality. Absolutely right. Everybody has given me the right answer. Now let's move on to the next part. The government enacts the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Act 2025. So my dear friends, Online Gaming Act 2025. Earlier in our era, we used to go outside to play the games, right? And this era, what we see, the people are playing the games at the convenience of their home, in the mobile phones, in the laptops, in the tablets, right? But let me tell you, my dear friends, recently we have come across so many instances where the money is now the part of the game, right? There are so many online games which includes the money. You have to invest your money there. Or sometimes these are basically kind of betting only. Sometimes they are skill-based games. So government says that inducing the money in these online games are not at all good. See, you play games, we are having no problem. We will support you in creating the online games and promoting the online games, but we cannot promote the money in the online games. That is why Government of India came up with the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Act 2025. So government is accepting the online games, but they say that we are totally banning the games which involves the money. Clear everyone? So the government has enacted this Act 2025 to promote esports and online social games while prohibiting online money games, to ensure a safe, accountable gaming ecosystem, strengthen consumer protection and support India's position in the global online gaming sector. It completely bans all forms of online money games, including the games of chance, skill or their combination, along with the advertising, promotion, facilitation. It's not just that the system cannot host such kind of online game which involves the money. No. Additionally, we cannot even promote such kind of games. We cannot even advertise such kind of games. Clear everyone? The authorities are empowered to block access to the unlawful platforms under the Information Technology 2000. Please remember there are two things. One is the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Act 2025 and the other one is the Information Technology 2000. Now there will be some penalties if there is a violation. So what are the penalties? So offering and facilitating online money games up to 3 years imprisonment or fine up to ₹1 crore or both. So we will be offering the facilitating online gaming money games where 3 years of imprisonment or fine up to ₹1 crore is there or both. Clear for facilitating the online money games. And if you are found advertising such kind of games, up to 2 years of imprisonment will be there, or fine up to rupees 50 lakh, or both. Clear everyone? So what will be the year of imprisonment in terms of offering the game, such kind of game? That is 3 years, or up to rupees 1 crore. And what is if a person advertises such games? 2 years imprisonment and up to 50 lakh of the penalty. The act provides for the recognition, promotion of the esports and online social games, along with the transparent registration mechanism and grievance redressal system. The establishment of the Online Gaming Authority of India to classify and register games, determine money games, issue codes of practice, and handle public grievances. That's all from this news article. Clear everyone? Let's move on to the next news article. International Day of Action for Rivers. We celebrate this day on 14th of March every year, and the theme for this year is Protect Rivers, Protect People. Protect Rivers, Protect People. Now, International Day of Mathematics also celebrated on 14th of March to promote the importance of mathematics in education, research, and daily life. And this year the theme is Mathematics and Hope. इस साल की क्या थीम है? Mathematics and Hope is the theme for this year. Clear everyone? Mathematics and Hope. Now, who has become the India's 94th Grand Chess Master? That is Chess Grand Master, that is the Mayank Chakrabarti. He is the first ever Grand Master from Assam and the northeastern region. Moving ahead, my dear friends, there is a person who has submitted the world's highest volcanic peak. What is the name of that person? That is a professor at IISc, that is Arpit Patra. So Arpit Patra is an IISc professor, and he has climbed the tallest mountain in Chile, that is Nevado Ojo del Salado, the highest volcanic peak in the world. The peak is located in Chile-Argentina border. Clear everyone? That's all from here. Now let's try to answer the questions. So government enacts a Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Act in which year? 2025. Right? Offering facilitation online money games, up to 3 years of imprisonment will be there, and fine of up to rupees 1 crore, or both. Advertising such games will lead up to dash years of imprisonment. How many years of imprisonment will be there? 2 years of imprisonment and rupees 50 lakh of the fine. Absolutely right. Moving on, International Day of Action for the Rivers. So it is celebrated on 14th of March. What is the theme this year? Protect River, Protect People. Now moving ahead, Mathematics Day observed on which date? 14th March again. And what is the theme? What was the theme of this particular Mathematics Day? Let me see who will give me the right answer in the chat box. That is Mathematics and Hope. Absolutely right. Kavya and Harshal, you have given me the right answer. Please now tell me the next answer. The person who has become the 94th chess grandmaster. That is, the name of the person is Mayank Chakrabarti. Absolutely right. Now IISc professor summits world's highest volcanic peak. What is the name of that person? That is Arpit Patra. And where exactly this tallest mountain is located? It is in Chile. Absolutely right. So my dear friends, we are done with these articles. So I hope that everybody of you is able to understand it, retain it, and cover it from examination point of view. Right? Now it's already around 1.5 hours that we are conducting this session. Now I think it's really a good time to take a very small water break. Right? And we will be coming back after the session, and we will be resuming the session after that. So please ensure that everybody is coming back after this break, and then we will be resuming the session. These days, guys, are really hot in the North India, so please ensure you are keep on hydrating yourself. Please stay healthy and happy, right? in this process. Just enjoy this process, that's it. That's what is required. Clear everyone? Clear to all of you? So now your time for the break starts. The time is right now 5:33 in my watch, and I will be back by 5:40. Clear everyone? Your time starts now. Hello everyone, so please give me a thumbs up in the chat box if everybody is back after the break so that we can resume the session. So if I am audible and visible, please mark your attendance in the chat box so that we can resume the session, my dear friends. I'm waiting for your responses. Are you guys back after the break? The time is up for everyone, and now it's a time to move on to the next news article. Okay, I can see here that yes, all the people are back. Thank you for giving me a response in the chat box, Srishti, Kashish, Harshal, and all the people. So here let's move on to the next news article, realizing the export potential of India's sports equipment manufacturing sector. So guys, you all know that sports plays a very important role in our country. It unites the people in our country, right? So basically we have to ensure that in the sports equipment also we want to realize the potential of our country, that we have to export, we have to make it an exporting hub, and that is why Niti Aayog has released a report titled Realizing the Export Potential of India's Sports Equipment Manufacturing Sector. So Niti Aayog has released the report titled Realizing the Export Potential of India's Sports Equipment Manufacturing Sector. It presents a comprehensive assessment of India's manufacturing capabilities, global market opportunities, and the policy interventions which are required to position the country as a competitive player in the global sports equipment industry. So this report presents a comprehensive assessment of India's manufacturing capabilities, global market opportunities which are available, the interventions that are required to position the country as a competitive player in the global sports equipment industry. And that is why we are having a key target which is outlined in the report, that we want to make India goods exports to approximately USD 8.1 billion by 2036. So how much export that we are targeting? How much export that we are targeting to achieve by 2036 in terms of sports equipments, that is $8.1 billion. Absolutely right. Now moving ahead, the global market opportunity. The global sports goods market encompasses sports apparel, footwear, equipment, accessories, and it is valued at $700 billion in 2024 and is expected to reach the value of $1 trillion by 2036. तो ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स गुड्स मार्केट जो है उसकी वैल्यूएशन है $1 ट्रिलियन के बाय 2036, दैट इज एक्सपेक्टेड. Within this ecosystem, the sports equipment segment alone will account for approximately $140 billion, with global demand expected to reach around $283 billion by 2036. ठीक है जी. तो स्पोर्ट्स इक्विपमेंट सेगमेंट का ही जो वैल्यू है वो $140 बिलियन का है, and this is expected to reach around $283 billion by 2036. That means it is almost double. When it comes to the India's position, India, the country currently exports approximately $275 million only worth of sports equipments annually, around 0.5% of the global export market. That means that we are really having a very high potential, and there is an untapped potential in this market. If we can capture this market, then this is really going to impact the Indian economy. The manufacturing activity is concentrated in the established clusters in our country like Jalandhar in Punjab and Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. 90% of the production undertaken by small and micro enterprises only, and India's domestic sports goods market is estimated at approximately $2.5 billion. Clear everyone? So please tell me that what is the target that India is achieving by 2036, at how much goods exports we will be sending, that is $8.1 billion. Which organization has released the report? That is Niti Aayog. What are the hotspots of the market for India? That is Jalandhar and Meerut. And if I ask you what is the global market opportunity, so presently it is valued at $700 billion in 2024 and it is expected to reach $1 trillion by 2036. Clear everyone? And when it comes to the sports equipment segment, it is around expected to be $283 billion by 2036. So that's all that we need to remember from examination point of view. Let's try to answer these questions. So which organization has released the report titled Realizing the Export Potential of India's Sports Equipment Manufacturing Sector? What is the right answer? It is Niti Aayog. Absolutely right. A key target outlined in the report is to scale India's sports goods exports to approximately dash billion by 2036. 8.1 billion US dollars. Absolutely right. The global goods sports good market is going to be valued by 2036 at what amount? 1 trillion US dollars. Absolutely right. So we are done with this news article also. Let's move on to the next news article now. Now, my dear friends, capacity building workshop was held for the tribal homestay owners. So Ministry of Tribal Affairs has organized a workshop along with the India Tourism Development Corporation in New Delhi. It will include the tribal homestay owners and their teams from Gujarat, Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim. The initiative focuses on promoting the community-led and sustainable tourism. That's all from this news article. Moving ahead, India's bioeconomy growth highlighted at BIRAC 14 Foundation Day. So my dear friends, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council has celebrated its 14th Foundation Day, and we have seen that India's bioeconomy is expanded from $10 billion to 195 billion US dollars in 2025. And within 1 year, we have seen that the size has increased by 195 billion US dollars. Clear? So within a year 165 billion US dollars से बढ़ के 195 billion US dollars हुआ है. Moving ahead, Bharat Electricity Summit was organized by the Ministry of Power in New Delhi, and the Ministry of Power has released the key reports during this particular summit, like National Resource Adequacy Plan to meet the growing electricity demand through a balanced energy mix. The transmission plan aims to integrate 900 gigawatt of non-fossil fuel capacity by 2035-36. Next news article, India has achieved the record of 200 mineral block auctions in 25-26. So India has successfully auctioned 200 mineral blocks in fiscal year 25-26, which is the highest ever in a single year. And Gujarat has basically the most number of such blocks, that is 32 blocks, followed by Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu. Clear? Now Hindu New Year Vikram Samvat 2083 has begun on 19th March 2026, my dear friends. The day is considered significant in the Hindu tradition as it is associated with the beginning of the universe creation. And this is basically called the Hindu New Year. That is a Vikram Samvat 2083 has started. So not that much relevant, but it was basically on the PIB, so that's why we have just covered it from examination point of view. Clear everyone, although it is less relevant from exam point of view. Now let's try to answer these questions. So dash Government of India in collaboration with the India Tourism Development Corporation has organized the capacity building workshop in New Delhi. What is the name of that ministry? Ministry of Tribal Affairs. That is the right answer. India's bioeconomy growth highlighted at BIRAC 14 Foundation Day. So India की जो bioeconomy है, it has expanded from about USD 10 billion in 2014 to 195 billion in 2025. That's all. Bharat Electricity Summit was recently organized in New Delhi by which ministry? Ministry of Power. India has achieved record dash mineral blocks auctions in fiscal year 25-26, that is 200 mineral block. And which state was on the top in terms of the 32 blocks? That is Gujarat. Now the Hindu New Year Vikram Samvat has begun. What is that year which has begun? That is 2083. 2083 is the right answer. Clear everyone? Now we are done with these news articles. Let's move on to the next news article. Moving on to the next news article, India's installed nuclear power capacity is now 8780 megawatt with 24 nuclear power plants. So right now India is having 24 nuclear power plants having the power capacity of 8780 megawatt, and the total nuclear power generation was 45,855 million units in 23-24 and 56,681 units in 24-25. There are 18 nuclear power reactors under the implementation with the total capacity of 13,600 megawatts. Clear? So right now there are 18 nuclear power reactors under the implementation with a total capacity of 13,600 megawatts. Moving ahead, Yoga 365 campaign has been launched, and we are launching it to celebrate the International Day of Yoga, which we celebrate every year on June 21. The Ministry of Ayush has launched the Yoga 365 campaign to promote the yoga as a daily practice and transform yoga from a one-day event into a year-round activity. Clear? Moving ahead, the MOU has been signed between the Ministry of Ayush and the CISF for preventive healthcare. So for the preventive healthcare, these two entities have signed an MOU, that is Ministry of Ayush and CISF. So these entities have signed an MOU under the Ministry of Home Affairs to promote preventive healthcare, wellness yoga, stress management and overall well-being among the CISF personnel and their families. It focuses on extending Ayush-based preventive, promotive and wellness services. Clear? So the Ministry of Ayush has signed this MOU with the CISF. Now the Thailand Parliament has elected Anutin Charnvirakul as the new Prime Minister. So who is the new Prime Minister of Thailand? That is Anutin. And he is expected to assume office after formal appointment by King Maha Vajiralongkorn. So a typical name, my dear friends. So just remember the way you can retain this name. Clear? Moving ahead, Department of Telecom has launched the 5G Innovation Hackathon 2026. So Department of Telecommunication under the Ministry of Communication has launched the second edition of the 5G Innovation Hackathon 2026. It is organized under the 100 5G Use Case Labs initiative to promote innovative and scalable solutions. The hackathon is open to students, startups, MSMEs and innovators across the country. So Department of Telecom has launched the 5G Innovation Hackathon 2026. Next news article, India and Bhutan has signed an MOU to strengthen the postal cooperation. So the Department of Posts under the Ministry of Communication, Government of India and Bhutan's Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport has signed this MOU on the postal cooperation. And under this MOU, they will be providing a framework for collaboration between the India Post and the Bhutan Post. So this MOU has been signed between India and Bhutan. Now let's try to answer these questions. Okay, so we are already done with the 5 articles. India and Bhutan has signed an MOU. DOT launched 5G Innovation Hackathon. Thailand Parliament new Prime Minister Anutin. Then MOU between Ministry of Ayush and CISF. International Day of Yoga on 21 June. And the status of nuclear power capacity and generation in India at 8780 megawatt with 24 nuclear power plants. Clear? Now let's try to answer these questions now. We have again revised. Now it's the time for all of you to give me the answer. Are you guys ready to give me the answer in the chat box? Let's start without wasting any more time. The status of nuclear power capacity. India's installed nuclear power capacity is at how much megawatt? With 24 nuclear power plants. That is 8780 megawatt. Absolutely right. How many nuclear power reactors are there in our country? That is 18 nuclear power reactors. Now please tell me the name of the ministry which has signed an MOU with CISF for preventive healthcare. That is Ministry of Ayush. And CISF comes under which ministry? Ministry of Home Affairs. Now Thailand's parliament has elected Dash as the new Prime Minister. What is the name? Anutin. Now Dash has launched the 5G Innovation Hackathon 2026. That is the Department of Telecom under the Ministry of Communications. Bharat Innovates Deep Tech Pre-Summit at IIT Bombay. So Dash has organized the Bharat Innovates Deep Tech Summit at IIT Bombay. That is the Bharat Innovate. This article we are going to cover now, right? This article we will be covering now. So Bharat Innovates Deep Tech Pre-Summit was held at IIT Bombay. So Minister of Education has organized the Bharat Innovates Deep Tech Pre-Summit at IIT Bombay Research Park. It featured the startup showcases, investor interactions and the industry networking, and innovations were presented across the 13 domains. Clear everyone? So it featured the startup showcases, investor interactions and industry networking and innovations. Bharat Innovates is the flagship program announced during the India-France Year of Innovation. So guys, Bharat Innovation, एक flagship program, it was announced during which year? When we are celebrating India-France Year of Innovation to boost India as a global hub for deep tech innovation. So Ministry of Education has organized Bharat Innovate Deep Tech Pre-Summit at IIT Bombay. Moving ahead, NIELIT, that is National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology, has signed an MOU has inaugurated a digital recording studio in New Delhi. The studio has been set up under the Ministry of Electronic and Information Technologies EdTech Initiative. तो मीटी के EdTech Initiative के अंदर NIELIT ने अंडर द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी इनॉग्रेट किया है डिजिटल रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो. मूविंग अहेड, नेशनल हाईवे अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया to develop AI powered Dasham monitoring system on the national highways. So National Highway Authority of India to deploy AI powered Dasham monitoring system on national highways. National Highway Authority of India will deploy AI powered Dasham analytics services across 40,000 kilometers of national highways. So 40,000 kilometers of national highways we will be setting and deploying the AI powered Dasham analytics services. This will be done by NHAI. And this is for the data-driven operation maintenance of highways and expressways. The dashboard cameras will be mounted on the route patrol vehicles to conduct weekly surveys using high-resolution images and video data. So we need to ensure to have a proper data of the highways and expressways in our country, right? So we will be detecting over 30 types of the defects like potholes, rutting, cracking, damaged lane marking. As you so many times what happens is the main reason of the accident taking place on these highways is these potholes. Some kind of, somewhere you see that some kind of random things are basically lying there on the roads, on the highways. Non-functional street lights are there, one of the very big problem. Illegal encroachments are there. So we need to avoid them, and that is why this kind of survey will be taking place, right, across the 40,000 kilometers of national highways. Moving ahead, Lifetime Achievement Award in the Medicine and Diabetes has been won by Dr. Jitendra Singh. So the Lifetime Achievement Award in Medicine and Diabetes was conferred to the Union Minister of State, Independent Charge for Science and Technology, that is Dr. Jitendra Singh. And this is the second time he has been given this award, because last time he was given this award in 2024, and now in 2026 also he has been given this award. Now moving ahead, we have World Water Day, which we celebrate every year on 22nd of March. This year, what is the theme of the World Water Day? Water and gender, where water flows, equity grows. So water and gender, where water flows, equality grows. That is the theme. And Ministry of Jal Shakti has celebrated this day with a conclave under the theme Industry for Water. तो Industry for Water नाम की थीम से हमने सेलिब्रेट किया इस डे को. Clear everyone? Clear to all? Now let's try to answer these questions. So the Bharat Innovates Deep Tech Pre-Summit was held at IIT Bombay. Ministry of Education has organized the Bharat Innovates Deep Tech Pre-Summit at IIT Bombay Research Park. It was announced in a flagship program announced during the India-France Year of Innovation. Moving to the next news article, Lifetime Achievement Award in the Medicine and Diabetes was conferred to Dr. Jitendra Singh. World Water Day now. World Water Day is celebrated on 22nd of March. What is the theme for this year? It was water and gender, where water flows, equality grows. Clear everyone? That's all from this news article. Let's move on to the next news article now. The Bihar has celebrated its 114th Foundation Day on 22nd of March. So Water Divas, right? उस दिन बिहार दिवस भी लॉन्च होता है वाटर डे पे. सो ऑन 22nd March 1912 ड्यूरिंग द ब्रिटिश रूल बंगाल प्रेसिडेंसी से बिहार को कार्व आउट किया गया था. इट वॉज अर्लियर द पार्ट ऑफ बंगाल, देन इट कार्व्ड आउट फ्रॉम द बंगाल एंड बिहार वॉज क्रिएटेड इन 1912 as the Bihar Divas, and this year we have celebrated 114th Foundation Day of the state. The theme for this year is Unnat Bihar, Ujjwal Bihar. That is Progressive Bihar, Bright Bihar. Clear everyone? Now the nationwide Shahid Divas Padyatra will be launched by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports during the Mera Yuva Bharat. It will organize the nationwide Padyatra on 23rd March 2026 to mark Shahid Divas. तो शहीद दिवस को मार्क करने के लिए 23rd March 2026 को we will be organizing this nationwide Padyatra, and we will be giving a tribute to the freedom fighters Bhagat Singh ji, Shivaram Rajguru ji and Sukhdev Thapar ji, right? So Bhagat Singh, Shivram Rajguru and Sukhdev. Theme of this initiative is My Bharat, My Responsibility. That's all. Which ministry will be organizing this event of the nationwide Shahid Divas Padyatra on 23rd March? That is the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. What is the theme? My Bharat, My Responsibility. Now guys, the Rashtriya Raksha University and SSB Academy has signed an MOU. They want to enhance the national security training and promote excellence in the security education. So for providing and enhancing the education of the security in our nation, that's why this MOU has been signed between Rashtriya Raksha University and SSB Academy. That's all from this article. Now the 27th annual general meeting of the Wildlife Institute of India Society. So Wildlife Institute of India Society की एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग हुई कहाँ पर हुई? देहरादून में हुई, राइट, एट द इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल फॉरेस्ट अकेडमी. इट वॉज चेयर्ड बाय भूपेंद्र यादव, द मिनिस्टर फॉर एनवायरमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज. Two documents were been released, but they are not that much important from the examination point of view. Just remember under whose chairmanship this event was being organized, that is the Bhupendra Yadav, and where exactly it was happened, that is Dehradun. Please remember 27th AGM of the Wildlife Institute of India Society. Now the 90th meeting of Standing Committee of the National Board for Wildlife was also held in Dehradun under the chairmanship of Bhupendra Yadav ji. Clear? During which an MOU was also signed between the Forest Survey of India and BISEG-N for the use of geospatial technologies, remote sensing and AI and machine learning tools for forest fire management. Now there is a 45th meeting of the Central Zoo Authority. My dear friend, this was also held in Dehradun only under the chairmanship of Bhupendra Yadav. Why we are covering all of them together? So that you are able to understand this news article, you are able to retain it from examination point of view. Right? And they have decided to constitute a committee on the concept of My Zoo. तो My Zoo के नाम पे एक के कॉन्सेप्ट पे एक नई कमेटी को सेटअप किया गया है. Will be presenting progress on the conservation breeding programs of 2 to 3 species. So that's all. That's all from this news article. Now let's try to answer this question, my dear friends. So Bihar has celebrated its 114th Foundation Day on which date? Are you guys ready for the question? So Bihar has celebrated its Foundation Day on which date? 22nd March 2026 on the occasion of Water Day. So the presidency. So Bihar was carved out of the Bengal presidency on 22nd March 1912. And what was the theme for the Bihar Divas this year? What was the theme? उभरता बिहार उज्जवल बिहार, सॉरी उन्नत बिहार उज्जवल बिहार. Absolutely right. Now moving ahead, the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports through the Mera Yuva Bharat will organize nationwide Padyatra on which date? 23rd of March, to give tribute to the Bhagat Singh ji, Shivram Rajguru ji and Sukhdev Thapar ji. Now what exactly is the theme for this initiative? My country, my responsibility. Clear everyone? Now the 27th annual general meeting of Wildlife Institute of Indian Society was held in Dehradun under the chairmanship of Bhupendra Yadav. Yeah, absolutely right guys, it was My Bharat, My Responsibility. Well done. Moving on to the next news article, 90th meeting of Standing Committee of NBW held in Dehradun. Again Dehradun, chaired by Bhupendra Yadav. The 45th meeting of Central Zoo Authority was held in Dehradun under the chairmanship of Bhupendra Yadav. Absolutely right. Clear to all? Let's move on to the next news article. So are you guys able to understand, retain, revise the articles that we are covering? See guys, these articles are quite non-technical in nature and they don't require much of the discussion and explanation. They are quite direct in nature and they don't need much of the understanding level. Am I right or wrong? Do you guys need that I should be giving you the examples for these articles also? If yes, please tell me in the chat box, I will be giving that. But let me tell you that these kind of articles don't need any such kind of examples or the more understanding level. These are quite good with this way only, right? So I can see Harshal, Material Share, Kashish, Kavya, Srishti, material share. All the people are giving me the right answer in the chat box. Well done. Now let's move on to the next news article. Indian Navy to commission stealth frigate तारागिरी. तो दोस्तों तारागिरी को विशाखापट्टनम में कमीशन किया गया है अंडर द प्रोजेक्ट 17A क्लास and it is built by Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited of Mumbai. This is equipped with the combined diesel or the gas propulsion system. So what is the name of that stealth frigate? That is Taragiri. Taragiri is a part of the project 17A class built by Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, Mumbai. Next news article. So last year also we covered that India has achieved the milestone of 1 billion ton of coal production, and this year also in the month of March itself we achieved this milestone of 1 billion ton of coal production, right? So India has achieved the 1 billion ton of coal production for the second consecutive year on 20th of March 2026. Moving at the longest serving head of the government in India milestone achieved. So who has achieved this milestone? Narendra Modi ji, the Prime Minister of India, who became the longest serving head of the government in India. And he has surpassed the record of the former Sikkim Chief Minister Pawan Kumar Chamberlain, right? So basically he was having the record of 8930 days, and his record has been surpassed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, which includes his tenure as the Chief Minister of the Gujarat and the Prime Minister of India. So what is the name of the person whose record has been surpassed by the Prime Minister Modi ji? That is Sikkim Chief Minister Pawan Kumar Chamberlain, the former Sikkim Chief Minister. Now moving ahead, Model Context Protocol Server. The government has launched the Model Context Protocol Server to enable the linking of the artificial intelligence tools with official statistical databases. The MCP server provides access to the verified government data through AI applications and platforms via the National Statistical Portal e-Sankhiki. So my dear friends, the MCP server, that is the Model Context Protocol Server, enables the linking of artificial intelligence tools with the official statistical database. The MCP server provides access to verified government data through the AI applications and platforms, and this is done via the National Statistical Portal of e-Sankhiki. The beta version of the MCP server initially included 7 key statistical products such as Periodic Labor Force Survey, Consumer Price Index, Annual Survey of Industries, Index of Industrial Production, नेशनल अकाउंट स्टैटिस्टिक्स. तो इन सबका बीटा वर्जन भी हम लॉन्च कर चुके हैं, ठीक है, ऑफ द एमसीपी सर्वर. सो द एमसीपी सर्वर प्रोवाइड्स एक्सेस टू वेरीफाइड गवर्नमेंट डेटा थ्रू एआई एप्लीकेशंस via which portal? It is e-Sankhiki portal. Absolutely right. And it has been expanded to include 21 statistical products. e-Sankhiki portal is India's national statistical portal, my dear friends, which is being developed by the MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Clear everyone? Model Context Protocol Server. It enables the linking of the artificial intelligence tools with the official statistical database. Clear to all? Model Context Protocol Server. Now the National DMF Summit 2026. So the National District Mineral Foundation Summit was held in New Delhi by the Ministry of Coal and Mines with the theme Effective Utilization of District Mineral Foundation Funds. Effective Utilization of District Mineral Foundation Funds. That is the right answer for the Aspirational District Program and Aspirational Block Program. We have already discussed these two programs so many times in the month of April, so I won't be discussing them here again. So which ministry has organized the National District Mineral Foundation Summit? That is the Ministry of Coal and Mines. Absolutely right. Now my dear friends, IGNC has published the Janjati Gaurav to document tribal heritage. So the published IGNC Indira Gandhi National Center of Arts has published a book titled Janjati Gaurav, and this will document and disseminate the knowledge on the history, culture and contributions of the India's tribal communities. Clear everyone? So that's all. Now let's try to answer these questions in the chat box. Right, we have covered so many news articles now in this part, in this series. Let's try to answer them. So please tell me here, Indian Navy to commission stealth frigate. What is the name of that frigate which is the part of project 17A class? That is Taragiri, and it has been built by Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited of Mumbai. Absolutely right. India has achieved 1 billion ton of the coal production on the 20th of March 2026. The longest serving head of the government in India milestone achieved, who has basically achieved this milestone, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Right? He has surpassed the record of the former Chief Minister of Sikkim, that is the Pawan Kumar Chamberlain. Now we are talking about the MCP server. What exactly MCP server stands for? Model Context Protocol Server, which enables the linking of AI tools with the official statistical databases, and the MCP server provides access to the verified government data through AI applications and platforms via the National Statistical Portal. What is the name of that portal? That is e-Sankhiki portal. And the e-Sankhiki portal has been created by which ministry? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Absolutely right. Now, my dear friend, the National DMF Summit 26 was been organized by Ministry of Coal and Mines, in which place it was established in New Delhi. Absolutely right. Now, IGNC has published the Janjati Dash document to tribal heritage. What is the right answer? To document the tribal heritage, we are having the Janjati Gaurav initiative. Absolutely right. So that's all from this news article. Let's move on to the next news article. But before moving on to that, I would like to ask you, are you guys able to retain, revise and cover everything that we are covering right now? Are you able to retain these things in your mind? Please maintain your mind palace, my dear friends, which is having all this information, because this is going to help you in the upcoming examination to answer the questions in the exam. That's why I am repeating all these articles again and again and again and again, so that you are able to retain them from the examination point of view, so that you are able to cover them from exam point of view, so that you are able to revise them from examination point of view in the session itself, so that there is a very less to do after the end of the session, right? Let me tell you very frankly, if we just remove these, extra repetitions and the drishyam round from from these articles, then this particular whole session will be only of around 1.5 hours. That's it. But we are conducting in 3 hours, just to ensure that you are not just covering the things, you are revising and you are retaining the things from examination point of view in the session itself. Clear, everyone? Okay, so let's move on to the next news article. So the next news article is on the drug controller intensifies regulation of the GLP-1 weight loss drugs. So guys, there are so many people in our country who are using the GLP-1 drug to lose weight. So this is a shortcut for them, right? But every shortcut leads, every certain impact to a body basically leads to a major impact in the long term. And that is why this drug can only be taken on the prescription of the doctor. But in our country, we have seen that the people are taking it on their own. So we need to ensure that these drugs are not being provided to the people. We have to keep them outside the reach of people without any prescription. And that is why the drug controller, in coordination with the state regulator, has initiated a target action to curb the unauthorized safe misuse and malpractices in the supply chain. Clear, everyone? Absolutely right. GLP stands for glucagon-like peptide drug. Absolutely right. Now moving on to the next news article, DPIIT has signed an MOU to support startups in manufacturing and innovation ecosystem. So Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry have signed a MOU with the leading air conditioning companies to support the startups which are working in the air conditioning sector. So in order to provide them the support, these MOU has been signed between the DPIIT and the leading air conditioning innovators and the entrepreneurs, right? So they will be focusing on promoting product startups in the areas such as HVAC. What HVAC stands for? Heating, ventilation and air conditioning. My dear friends, heating, ventilation and air conditioning. So this is basically the HVAC. The full form of HVAC can be asked in the examination. Under this MOU, the startups are going to receive the mentorship from the industry experts and infrastructure support, including R&D labs and the testing facilities. Clear to all? So DPIIT has signed an MOU to support startups in manufacturing and innovation ecosystem. Clear? Heating, ventilation and air conditioning. Let's move on to the next news article. INS Nilgiri has participated in the exercise Kakadu. Guys, exercise Kakadu has been held in Australia So exercise Kakadu was held in Australia, and Indian Navy ship INS Nilgiri has basically participated in this exercise to strengthen interoperability in cooperation with the Australian Navy. Moving ahead, City Union Bank has appointed Ravindra Jadeja as the brand ambassador. So guys, which bank has appointed Ravindra Jadeja, the Indian cricketer, as a brand ambassador? That is City Union Bank. Absolutely right. Moving ahead, the former Rajya Sabha member Datta Meghe passed away recently. He was a former member. He served as a member of Rajya Sabha from April 2002 to April 2008. Moving ahead, Akashvani to broadcast full version of Vande Mataram. So Vande Mataram's full version will be broadcasted by Akashvani from 26 March onwards. And this is following the Ministry of Home Affairs guidelines. So Ministry of Home Affairs provided the guidelines, released the guidelines under which Akashvani has basically announced that it will be now broadcasting full 6 stanza version of the national song Vande Mataram from 26 March 2026. Remember the date also. Clear? Earlier only 2 stanza version was being broadcasted, which was basically sung by Pandit Chandrasekhar Vaze in Rag Desh. Okay? So which organization will be broadcasting the full version of Vande Mataram? That is Akashvani. That is the right answer. Now my dear friends, Ministry of Culture has signed an MOU with the YouTube to promote Indian traditional folk and tribal music. So the initiative aims to empower the folk and tribal musicians by providing the digital tools, knowledge systems and wider audience reach. So it focuses on the digital skilling, awareness of intellectual property rights, collaboration opportunities and the sustainable career pathways for the artists. So we just want to ensure that these people are having, good knowledge system, wider audience reach, and we are skilling them. We are awareing the people about the intellectual property rights, about the collaboration opportunities, so that they can be aware about these areas and they can protect their intellectual property rights. So that is why Ministry of Culture has signed an MOU with the YouTube. Clear all? Let's now try to answer these questions. Are you guys ready to answer the question? Okay, so let's start. Dash has signed an MOU to support startups in manufacturing and innovation ecosystem. What is the right answer? DPIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, signed an MOU with the leading air conditioning companies to support startups, innovators and entrepreneurs. In the areas such as HVAC, they will be focusing on what exactly HVAC stands for? Heating, ventilation, air conditioning, right? Now please tell me the exercise Kakadu, which was held in Australia, which INS participated in it? That is the INS Nilgiri. Absolutely right. Now tell me the City Union Bank has appointed which personality as a brand ambassador? That is the Ravindra Jadeja. Absolutely right. Now tell me the name of the organization which will be broadcasting full version of Vande Mataram. What is the right answer? What is the right answer? The right answer is Akashvani. Absolutely right. It was basically sung by Vande Mataram was sung by which was basically right now we are broadcasting. It was sung by Pandit Ved Shankar in the Rag Desh, right? Then MOU between the Ministry of Culture and Dash in New Delhi to promote Indian traditional folk and tribal music supply. That is India and YouTube has signed this MOU. Absolutely right. So yes, it was a Pandit Chandrasekhar Raze. Absolutely right. Now guys, we are done with this another important article. Now let's move on to the next article, that is the Global Terrorism Index 2026 rankings and findings. The Global Terrorism Index 2026 rankings and findings. So Global Terrorism Index has been published by the Institute for Economics and Peace. So Economics and Peace, Institute of Economic and Peace is basically having the Global Terrorism Index, has released the Global Terrorism Index, and it uses the composite score of 0 to 10 scale to rank the countries based on the impact of terrorism. According to this report, we have identified that the Pakistan was ranked first in the GTI 26 after a 6% rise in the terrorism related deaths in 2025. Guys, Pakistan. Okay? So which are the top 5 countries? That is PBNNM. Pakistan, Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria and Mali. These are the top 5 countries in the terrorism index. So Pakistan again ranked first. in this index. When it comes to the deaths from the terrorism, it fell by 28%. 25581 incidents has decreased by 22% to 2944. So what are the top 5 countries? PBNNM, that is Pakistan, Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria and Mali. That is the right answer. Clear? Now moving ahead to the World Down Syndrome Day. It is celebrated every year on 21 March. Right? The Down Syndrome Day is a genetic condition which is caused by an extra partial or whole copy of chromosomes. My dear friends, you all know we are having a chromosomes, right? So basically, the chromosome 21, when we are having an extra partial or whole copy of the chromosome 21, it affects our learning, physical traits and health. So this is called the Down syndrome, and we celebrate this Down syndrome day to make people aware about that on 21 March. Together Against Loneliness is the theme for 2026. Now there is another day, that is International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. We celebrate this day on 21 March. It is observed annually on 21 March to promote awareness and action against the racial discrimination. And the day commemorates the Sharpeville massacre of 1960, where police killed 69 people. And you all must have heard about apartheid. It was a system of the racial segregation and discrimination practiced in South Africa from 1948 to 1994. In 1994, they got free from apartheid, right? The apartheid was abolished from South Africa. Clear, everyone? Now let's try to answer these questions. The Global Terrorism Index 2026 rankings, it has been published by Institute of Economic Peace, right? Now which country was ranked first? That is the Pakistan. So the Pakistan is among the 5 countries accounting for nearly 70% of the global terrorism deaths. Now please tell me what are the top 5 countries. That is PBNNM. That is Pakistan, Burkina Faso, Nigeria and M stands for Mali, right? Now the World Down Syndrome Day we celebrate every on 21st of March, and this is the chromosome 21 whose extra partial or the whole copy is there, and this leads to the Down syndrome, impacting the learning, physical traits and health of the person. Now what is the theme for this year? It is Together Against Loneliness. This is the theme for this year. Now the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, it is again celebrated on 21st of March. The day commemorates the Sharpeville massacre in 1960, where police killed 69 people, a protest against apartheid passed laws in South Africa, and apartheid was a system which we saw in the South Africa. Clear, everyone? Now we are moving on to the last article of the today's session, and that is L&T Finance Limited becomes signatory to the UN Global Compact. So L&T Finance Limited has become the signatory to the United Nations Global Compact. L&T Finance Limited and NBFC became a signatory to the United Nations Global Compact, the world's largest corporate social sustainability initiative. तो वर्ल्ड का सबसे बड़ा कॉर्पोरेट सस्टेनेबिलिटी इनिशिएटिव है यूनाइटेड नेशंस ग्लोबल कॉम्पैक्ट इनिशिएटिव, जिसका सिग्नेटरी बन चुका है L&T फाइनेंस, राइट? व्हाट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ signing up with this kind of organization? That is to integrate environmental, social and governance principles into the company's core strategy. इसीलिए L&T फाइनेंस पार्ट बना है UN ग्लोबल कॉम्पैक्ट का. The United Nations Global Compact is the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative with over 20,000 participants across more than 160 countries. It calls on companies to align their strategies and operations with the 10 principles in the areas of human rights, labor, environment and the anti-corruption. So can anybody please tell me that what is the name of that company which has signed, which has become signatory to the UN Global Compact? That is L&T Finance. That is the right answer. So my dear friends, now your next target should be after the end of the session is revising the PDF, solving the MCQs, assessing the MCQs and then moving on to the next session. Right, my dear friends, I hope that this is clear to everyone. Now there are people who will be having the questions, sir, where to find the PDF. The people who are new, for them, let me show you how exactly you can find the PDF. Just go to the chapters. Just go to the chapters. Click on the courses. Then you will see the all categories. Go to the packages. Go to the, my dear friends, you can go to the month of March. And 8th of March. And here it is. This is the whole curriculum. You can see the 18 to 25th March PDF is there. The video class is there. And also the Drishyam round PDF has also been uploaded there. Right? So you can revise the PDF. You can watch the session again if you think that this is the necessity for you. And you can also cover the Drishyam round PDFs to ensure that you are able to retain all the important information from the examination point of view. Clear, everyone? So that was all from the today's session, my dear friends, right? Now I'm expecting from all of you that you will be revising and doing all this homework now. Clear? And after the revision, after this, do let me know in the comment section that yes sir, we have done this, so that I can ensure that yes, you are basically, regular, and you are that much serious that yes, you are doing all of this part from the examination point of view. Clear, everyone? Now my dear friends, after the end of the session, if you still think that these sessions have helped you in any manner for your preparation of the upcoming RBI Grade B officer exam, or it has made little bit easy, so please share your thoughts about the session in the comment section, right? After the end of the session, do share your thoughts so that we can see that whether these sessions are impactful for you or not. If there is any scope of improvement, definitely we can work on them. Clear? So now I will be meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.